Even Kevin Durant gave me a few giggles, man. Laughing at Thomas,
Let's call him the legend Isaiah.
The legend Isaiah.
That's what we say.
Isaiah Thomas, both of them.
Oh, wow.
Pistons Isaiah and Isaiah Thomas,
Let's call him the legend Isaiah.
The legend Isaiah.
That's what we do. We say Isaiah Thomas the legend.
Okay, let's put that on there, Isaiah, the legend Isaiah.
You know what I mean? Because we don't want to get too crazy with everybody going, well, which one?
Yeah, we know which one we're talking about. Right.
Right.
Yeah, Caron Butler, man. Even Kevin Durant gave me a few giggles, man. Laughing at a few things.
Next time Caron hits you up, tell him that he still owes Rob chicken wings for the bet he lost to me.
I got you, man. I definitely will do that.
You know I'm never going to let that go.
Well, no, I know you're not till you get your wings.
Exactly.
You also do
I can't believe this.
me and Rob.
Oh, yeah.
And
Chris is easy to do. I can tell.
I don't know. I mean, I've only heard.
I like it.
I haven't heard many
love
good
it.
ones. I've heard a couple good ones of me, but so we gonna.
Jason Smith does you. He does a pretty good job.
Yeah, he does do a pretty good job. You're gonna do Rob and myself.
Okay.
Debating. I think Tom Brady is the GOAT.
And I think he's the
quarterback of all time. He thinks he's
the luckiest of all time.
So you gonna debate that. So let me just throw it out to you, Chris. Why is Tom Brady the GOAT? Tell Rob why Tom Brady's the GOAT.
Well, one thing that I gotta say about Tom Brady, like the dude, he was drafted first off low on the totem pole. And we can argue some things about like the little controversy between the Tuck rule with the Raiders, but that was right there what really sparked his legacy. Tom Brady has been the man. Like, ain't nobody in this era that I know tops Tom Brady. Like, most of it, other than Eli Manning, has been kryptonite sometimes to Tom Brady. But everybody else who he goes up against, he takes him down. Jerry Goff. He's got rid of Jerry Goff. Matt Ryan. He took down Matt Ryan, who everybody thought they couldn't be taken down with the Falcons that season.
Rob, jump in, please, and set him straight. Please set Chris straight.
Let me explain something to you right now about Tom Brady. Tom Brady is the low. He's one of the luckiest players that I've ever seen in my life. And then first of all, we don't want to talk about the Spygate thing and flattening the footballs, Deflategate. When you go back to that stuff, how do you call anybody like that any kind of GOAT?
You just a hater, Rob.
No, I don't have any reason to hate on Tom Brady. If he was the GOAT, I'd tell you. But he's not the GOAT. He's the low.
He is the low.
Tom Brady, good job.
Now, you also do shows. We want to get this in.
Get all the info. Yeah.
All the info. People want to see you, shows you're doing, any way that they can connect with.
Absolutely, guys. I'm from LA. I'm very frequently at the Comedy Union on Pico and La Brea, very frequently. This coming Monday, I will be at the Hollywood Improv on D-Ray Mondays. Hosted by comedian D-Ray Davis.
Okay.
And I'll be there Monday, so if you want to catch me anytime soon, if you're in LA, if you're in Hollywood Monday, Savvy the Amusing is in the building, Hollywood Improv.
Now, Savvy, is your stand-up, is it similar to what you do on IG and what you just did?
Or is it just jokes?
You know what? I tried to make it that way. The only time I was really able to make it that way is a shout-out to Reggie Bush and Alex Thomas. I did Reggie Bush's... golf charity tournament, and I was able to do comedy parodies there through Sports Athletes. But on stage, I've done it, and it didn't really get the laughs that I wanted it to get because that crowd maybe they weren't that sports savvy.
Right. Because you got to remember, it's not just a sports crowd.
Absolutely, but in front of a sports audience, it kills every time. But mostly on stage, I'll do like people that's more familiar: Donald Trump, Bernie Mac, Cat Williams.
But you're largely impressions.
Absolutely.
Savvy, thank you so much. You can follow him on IG at Savvy Amusing, SAVVY Amusing. Make sure you do that. It's the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. Chris and Rob, we've got 1 hour left. We'll get your calls as well. First time callers, call in. Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Switch Switch to Metro and get 2 free Samsung Galaxy phones. Only at Metro.
Welcome to Fair Game. I'm Christine Leahy. My guest today won the WWE Divas Championship 3 times when she was performing as AJ Lee in the WWE. Her memoir, Crazy is My Superpower, was a New York Times bestseller. AJ Mendez, so good to meet you.
It's very nice to meet you.
So I want to get to your whole story in a second, but first of all, you are a sci-fi fantasy fan.
Yes.
Which means you must have watched Game of Thrones.
Yes.
What did you think of the ending?
As a writer, as that's my new career, I realize how hard it is, and I can never tell anyone how to control their art, and if I don't like how something's done, I'll just write it myself. I'll write my own story, you know?
So, okay, we'll get back to you. Superheroes all have their own origin stories. For you, what was the kind of moment or the time that you started getting into wrestling?
Oh, gosh. I have a very, very vivid memory of the day I decided I was going to be a wrestler. My brother was my best friend in the world growing up, and he probably couldn't stand me and would try to get rid of me. But when we would watch wrestling together, he'd get me to shut up for a few minutes, and I would just sit next to him and just enjoy hanging out with him. And we watched wrestling for a few years, and this just one day I just thought, I'm gonna do that. And I remember my mom walking past us, and I went, I'm going to be a wrestler when I grow up. And she was like, okay, that's nice. That's cute, okay. I think it was 12 or something like that. And from that day, I was like, oh, that's what I'm going to do.
So you were wrestling in local gyms in New Jersey. How did you go from that to the WWE?
So I started, I went to film school for a solid 6 months, could not afford it, and decided that was a sign that I should get into wrestling, because I knew that's what I wanted to do. So I was about 18 or 19, started in the independent circuit, just training at a local gym, wrestling in VFW halls and bingo halls and high school gyms, and getting paid in food sometimes. They'd be like, you can take something from the concession stand. I remember one time I made $60 for 4 matches in one night, and I thought I was loaded. I was like, this is so much money. So every year around then, it was maybe 3 or 4 years in a row, WWE would have this almost like an open casting call that you had to pay $1,500 to participate in. And I'd never seen that much money in my life. So I missed 1 year, and I said, okay, the next year I'm going to save up enough money. So I saved all my indie wrestling bookings, and I was a secretary at the time, and saved all this money and just starved for a year. I stole food from my job's waiting room. That's what I ate for 6 months. It was just cheese and crackers and fruit, and saved up all this money and paid to try out. And it was this 4-day tryout in Florida, and I was out of 80 guys, and there's dancers and models, and then there was me, and I got signed. That's awesome.
What was the key for you once you started to get going, from separating the character AJ Lee from the actual person AJ Mendez?
I think I had just seen the opposite happen a lot in wrestling, where people would take match results and storylines or career trajectories very personally, and as a reflection of themselves and their own worth. And as someone who was very hyper aware of my mental health from a young age, I knew that wasn't going to be healthy. So very early on, I really had to decide that wrestling is a show like anything on TV. You are playing characters, you're in storylines, and sometimes you're down here and sometimes you're at the top of the mountain. And none of that is reflected of me as a person. And so I very much, would leave the show and go to my hotel and just be me. And even if I, won the championship that day, I was, hanging out and eating crap in my hotel room and just going to bed early that night, It was very important for me to see that those were two different people. And I think that really helped me be sane, and it helped me be more collaborative because I was comfortable looking stupid and, making other people look great and losing, and I never took any of that stuff personally.
You actually really helped kind of usher in a new era for women in WWE, and now you look at them and they're the main event at WrestleMania. Do you ever think about what it would have been like if you were part of WWE at a different time?
I do, and I feel like it wouldn't have been as good for me, probably. I think what worked, I think everything happens when it's supposed to, and I think I really benefited from just having really good timing. And in my time in the business, there was so much pressure on the girls to conform to a mold and a formula that worked. And not only was it pressure, there was, you would sort of be punished if you didn't. Like there was a time when they would come check and make sure our manicures were perfect, and if our hair wasn't long enough, they'd tell us we had to get extensions, and your weight would be commented on, and so that made for a lot of pressure where girls didn't feel like they could just show who their genuine self was, and that's understandable. But I've always been willing to fail if the only option is it's either doing it my way and what's true and genuine to me, or failure. I will choose to just do it my way. I never wanted to compromise. And so being the person that was kind of writing the fine line of getting in trouble a lot, I was willing to do that, and I think that that's what helped me. And so I was rare at the time. You didn't see a girl who was like not wearing as much makeup, or like not doing her hair, or was wearing clothes that you could find in Target on TV. And I got in trouble for that at first. I was told no one would want to have sex with me.
Seriously?
Yes, it's a title of a chapter in my book.
Oh my gosh.
No one wants to have sex with you.
And I'm sure you wanted to like slap the guy who said that to you.
I cried for so long, and then my hair was immediately dyed lighter, like that.
Oh, because that would make people want to have sex with you.
Yeah,
of course. That's so crazy.
And so it was very demoralizing, but I kind of, took it like, okay, I tried to conform for a minute, and I was like, no, this isn't me. And what really, really saved me was the fans, and the fans just responded to me being me. And after a while, I was like, you can't argue with these people who are supporting me for being me. Like, it's working. And then they really did get on board and were like, okay, well, you're you. Like, you're loud and you're abrasive and you're like kind of asexual, and that is your own thing, and that's working, and it's making us money. But it made money, and money talks. And,
good for you. Hey, someone once told me if I dye my hair brown, I will look smarter. People will actually think I'm smart. So, hey, it goes both ways, doesn't it? So your fans probably ask you, right, if you would do one more match. What do you say to them?
Oh my gosh. I never say never, because every time I've said never in my life, I've ended up doing the thing. Like, I'm never going to date a wrestler. I'm never going to date another wrestler. And then, and then it keeps going, and then I married one. I say that I don't know what the future holds. To not hold your breath. But never say never. Bye.
One, Take One is back, starting at just $12.99 at Olive Garden. Join us for a new favorite today. Then bring one home for tomorrow on us. Buy one, take one for a limited time